Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, P-38 Echo to be recovered from Greenland Glacier. Corvair-Powered JAG-2 twin makes first flight. An astronaut candidate resigns during training. Hello, I'm Laura Hutson. It's September 5th, and this is Airborne Unlimited. The Greenland Glacier, that is the final resting place for 6 P-38 fighters and 2 B-17 bombers, may soon give up another of the aircraft that has been buried in the ice since 1942. The aircraft were forced to land on a remote glacier in southeastern Greenland when they ran into weather en route to Reykjavik, Iceland, where they planned to refuel. The air crews were all rescued, but the airplanes remained on the glacier and were eventually buried in up to 350 feet of ice and snow. One of the P-38's Glacier Girl was discovered in 1992 and restored to airworthy condition. Now a second P-38, dubbed Echo and flown by Robert Wilson, has been located, and a recovery effort is planned. The plane was first noted as an anomaly during a radar search of the glacier. Earlier this year, the group returned with drones equipped with ground-penetrating radar and pinpointed the location of the airplane. The team now plans to use large heated plates to melt through the ice and reach the airplane. They plan to construct a cavern that will allow them to disassemble the warbird and bring it back to the surface. The long-range plans include restoring Echo to airworthy condition. After the break, Avidyne announces ADS-B upgrades for multiple products.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Based on the popular Sling 2 LSA, the Sling 4 was designed to be the most practical and desirable lightweight four-place experimental aircraft on the market. Find out more about this 115 horsepower turbocharged airplane at airplanefactory.com.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, Aero-TV, Airborne Unmanned, the AMA Drone Report, our website or podcast, just email to news-spy@aero-news.net. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Upgrades are available that will enable ADS-B on Avidyne EX5000, EX500, 600 MFD, and Integra R9 equipped aircraft. Along with Avidyne's broad product line of GPS navigators and transponders, software upgrades are now available that will allow displays of ADS-B in traffic on Integra flight decks. We continue to develop new products as part of our ongoing commitment to ADS-B. And with these software upgrades, we now have an ADS-B solution for every display product in our product line, including our legacy displays, said Avidyne CEO Dan Schwinn. SpaceX has made a decision to not reuse flight-proven Crew Dragon spacecraft to carry astronauts to ISS, despite a requirement by NASA to have the option of using commercial crew capsules up to 10 times. SpaceX Commercial Crew Program Manager Kathy Leaders stated that SpaceX proposes to use a new vehicle every time for NASA, despite the company's regular use of flight-proven Dragon cargo spacecraft and boosters to launch payloads for NASA and other customers. Russian airline S7 has presented a proposal to the governor of the Moscow region to build Epic Victory business jets in the region. Andrei Vorobyov said that he recently visited S7's training center, where General Director Vladimir Obetkov told the company plans to invest nearly $200 million in a new manufacturing plant that could create about 1,000 jobs. S7 acquired the rights to the Epic Victory aircraft after the company went bankrupt in 2009. Financially troubled SkyWork Airline, a European regional carrier which provided up to 60% of flights into and out of Bern, Switzerland, has ceased operations and surrendered its air operating certificate to Swiss aviation authorities. SkyWork announced the closure in a news release posted on its website Thursday. SkyWork Airlines has stopped operations with immediate effect. We would like to thank you for your loyalty during the past 7 years, the announcement said. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. A twin-engine airplane powered by Corvair engines has flown for the first time. It is thought to be the first such airplane to fly in the 58 years Corvair engines have been used to power airplanes. The flycorvair.com website reports that the plane, called a JAG-2, was flown by its builder for the first time last week. Jim Campbell called this afternoon to say he took his Corvair-powered twin, the JAG-2, for its first flight. It was a carefully planned 15-minute test flight that went flawlessly. The two things he commented on was it having enough power to leave the ground in just 600 feet, and the smoothness second only to a turbine engine. Jim's observations are backed by more than 15,000 hours in multi-engine aircraft. I have seen old pictures of twin Corvair projects, but as far as I know, this is the first one to fly in the 58 years of Corvair-powered flight, wrote website owner William Wynn. Tomaszewski has been working on his project for several years, along with his wife Ginger. After these messages, astronaut candidate resigns during training.
In collaboration with NASC, introducing Sonex Aerospace, bringing you the Taros Group 4 UAS, the redesigned Tiger Shark Block 4, and the Subsonics Twin Jet UAS, all derived from flight-proven manned systems, not concepts, real aircraft. More at sonexaerospace.com.
Welcome back. One of the candidates selected for NASA's 2017 astronaut class has resigned from the program for personal reasons before qualifying for spaceflight. Rob Coolene, a 35-year-old Alaskan, has been in training with NASA for a year. He was selected for one of the 12 spots in the astronaut class from among some 18,300 applicants for the position. With his resignation, he becomes the first astronaut candidate to lead the program in 50 years, according to the agency. NASA spokeswoman Brandy Dean said that the agency will not replace Coolene. His resignation is effective August 31st. The last time an astronaut resigned from the program was in 1968. Two members of the 1967 class left that year. Brian O'Leary cited a lack of spaceflight prospects as his reason for leaving the program, while John Llewellyn left after having difficulty piloting jets. Coolene spent 6 years at SpaceX, working on design and analysis of Falcon 9 rocket components. He later led the Launch Chief Engineering Group that ensures flight safety. Dean said Coolene will not be required to reimburse the agency for any of his training. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, alternating with Airborne Unmanned on Tuesday and the AMA Drone Report each Thursday. Additional breaking news bulletins may be posted for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. We'll see you tomorrow.